Dr. Bob here again, coming to you from the Cordova kitchen. If you're in Cordova right now and you want food, you're making it for yourself. Nutrition, it's probably the sharpest arrow in your quiver for fighting disease and maintaining wellness. So we might as well stick with it. If you watched me yesterday, you saw everything that I ate yesterday. And I showed you my quickie go-to breakfast, which is my yogurt, chia seed, almond, some fruit, maybe a little honey, half a scoop of whey protein powder. The yogurt, of course, Greek yogurt, higher in protein, lower. I get the non-fat type, and it's got less carbohydrates. When you have time, it's not a bad idea to cook. I'm a big believer that animal protein's healthy for you. I am going to go over my personal vegan experiment that I did for 6 weeks. And someday I'll show you my prot meal because I like that, and I do like oatmeal, although I'm a little afraid of grains. I lost 5 pounds of muscle mass in 6 weeks according to my DEXA scan, so it's going to be tough to convince me to go back to a fully vegan diet. Eat as many vegetables as you can stand. All right, so I typically do my morning egg breakfast. I want to eat a lot of vegetables. I had about 5 minutes of prep time for what you're going to see here. I like to cook with avocado oil. It's got the highest smoke point. Avocado oil is a monounsaturated fat like olive oil, and it probably protects your blood vessels quite a bit according to the epidemiological data, meaning people who consume olive oil and avocados seem to die less than other people, particularly of cardiovascular disease. Now, the problem with olive oil is it has a low smoke point. Avocado oil, $5.50. You can get a bottle like this for about $10. It's expensive if you're going to deep fry, but why would you deep fry anything? All right, so I cut up some vegetables, nice selection. Mushrooms have special things in it like cordyceps, which actually makes your mitochondria work real good. Broccoli, probably the healthiest food on the planet. Eat as much as you can stand. Onions, like I told you, a good prebiotic, and here's some yellow bell pepper. So there's some veggies that I'll just let simmer in this avocado oil. I cut up a few strawberries, and I'm going to have half of an avocado. You know, a medium-sized avocado like this has about 7 grams of fiber. Fiber's huge, okay? The meta-analysis, when they look at fiber intake, they split people up into a really neat study that I have on my Facebook wellness patients blogs. And if you want all this stuff in an organized fashion, if you go there, it's chronological and the scientific studies are there. I'll get to that in this venue, but right now I'm just trying to give you guys as much information as possible. But anyways, fiber. You look at fiber, they split fiber intake up in a huge meta-analysis, meaning they looked at a whole bunch of studies and crunched the data, right? And what they showed with fiber was that if you were in the lowest group, which they defined as 17 grams a day or less, versus the medium group, which they defined as 17 to 25 grams or less, or you were in the high fiber group, which they defined as greater than 25 grams per day. Now, my typical fiber intake, 50 grams. So I'm way in the high fiber group. What they showed in that study was that if you went from one group to another, there was a statistically significant reduction in all-cause mortality, meaning dying of anything, cancer mortality, and cardiovascular mortality. So basically, fiber makes you not die. So try to figure out how to get some in your diet. A little bit of salt. I have no blood pressure issues. My blood pressure systolic is about 105 average. Diastolic's barely over 60. Avoid salt if you have blood pressure issues. I didn't put much in there. You can see this is mostly egg white with one free-range omega-3 egg. So I try to avoid too much saturated animal fat. Certainly, you know, if your animals are eating healthy, the quality of that fat is less of a problem. Grass-fed, free-range, You know, chickens that they feed flaxseed, that kind of thing. All right, so I'm letting my veggies stir fry here a little bit. My eggs are mixed up. I do want to point out that yesterday, I'm actually running a little late. It's almost 11 o'clock. So my first oral intake today, other than my berberine that I ate this morning, my Glucomax Protect, which raises insulin sensitivity, lowers hemoglobin A1C, and is as effective as metformin. And my methylation formula, my B vitamin complex to keep my homocysteine down. I have a defect in folate metabolism according to my genetics, and it worked very effectively for dropping my homocysteine down around 9. And I've actually doubled my dose because I'm going to try to lower it further. Anyways, I compressed my eating window. I ate breakfast yesterday at 10, and I made that dinner last night at 8. And here's the deal. This COVID thing is clearly affecting people with insulin insensitivity, and one of the best ways to improve insulin sensitivity is to fast. And intermittent fasting implies that you have a short eating window and you basically are fasting every day. There's also some benefit to probably periodically fasting for a long time, like not eating for a day. And I did that for about 6 weeks. No, I did it for 3 months to prove I could do it. I didn't eat on Saturdays. That did cost me a little muscle mass also, but not as bad as a vegan diet. I was ripped though. I had my leanest body fat percentage ever, 6.9%. Anyways, compress that eating window. It's 11 o'clock tonight, so I will make sure I'm done eating dinner by 9. Okay? So these veggies are probably stir-fried enough. And I'm going to go ahead and dump my eggs in there. Doesn't take a long time to cook this. I probably eat like this most mornings if I have time. Not much to it. Not much to it. Easy to do. Great looking breakfast. You know, colorful, tasty, filling, protein, appetite suppressing macronutrient. Hey, what else is causing these people to die with COVID-19? Being overweight. We know that being overweight, having central fat, is associated with insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes and systemic inflammation. And everybody's affected differently by it. I see some people that have pretty good looking numbers even though they're overweight, and I see other people that are maybe not as overweight and have bad numbers in terms of insulin resistance and systemic inflammation. But I will tell you one thing from my practice in Cinegenics, where I actually measure visceral adipose tissue annually on all of my patients, and there is a clear, obvious relationship between when those people lose weight and those numbers get better. So your genetics are what they are, but your epigenetics are what you do, okay? So, lose the fat. I'm giving you strategies. High protein diet. Protein is the most appetite suppressing macronutrient. So when you eat a breakfast like this, you know what's second? Fat. You know what makes you hungry? Carbohydrates. You know what makes you the most hungry? High glycemic carbohydrates. Comfort food. Processed food, that calorically dense, nutritionally sparse, highly palatable crap that Nabisco and Kellogg's wants you eating. Somehow they paid off the government many, many years ago. Okay, there's the conspiracy theorist in me, to come up with the food pyramid that gave us the metabolic syndrome epidemic that we see in this country. So, anyways, here's my breakfast. You guys know how I do my snacks. I'm going to have lunch today. Again, I suspect probably my lunch will be a shake. I'll probably go ahead and show you how I make it. Since I'm having eggs for breakfast, I will do a whey protein shake today instead of a vegetable protein shake. There won't be much different other than changing the protein powder. Anyways, that's today's installment. I hope you find it helpful. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to exercise.